A warning before you listen.
What you are about to hear is not meant for children, nor for the faint of heart. This is an unfiltered retelling of ancient myths, told as they were born, raw, violent, unsoftened. Expect scenes of brutality, curses that linger, betrayals that reshape fate, and a hunger for power that shows no mercy. These myths were never meant to lull children to sleep. They were forged in blood, shadow, and fire. So ask yourself, are you ready to hear them as they were first told? Sources and references can be found in the episode description.
In this audio epic, we tell the story Chaos, Gaia, and Uranus, from void to tyranny, prologue, before the beginning when desire trembled in the void. No one tells this story, because those who lived it burned, and those who heard it were never the same again. This isn't a tale of a world being shaped, nor of a god creating light from darkness. This is the tale of the crack itself, the fracture in silence when the abyss gasped, but had no mouth to scream. We do not begin here with the first step, but with the first shiver in the ribs of silence, the first whisper of a will slicing through the skin of nothingness, not to create, but to declare, I refuse to dissolve. Imagine a cosmos without breath, without heart, without walls for a sigh to lean on. Now imagine a woman born inside it, a woman whose body did not yet know how to curve, but whose soul pulsed with the urge to be touched, to be seen, to be pierced or held or punished. This is not the story of how the world began. This is a confession of the moment when a female hand rose not to caress, but to forge a weapon. Here creation is not born from love, but from pressure, from suffocation, from the silent violence of a first unspoken violation, murmured only in the margins of forgotten myth. The sky was never high. It had fallen, heavy on the earth, like the body of a man who desires but does not understand, who presses but does not love, who enters but does not hear the scream. And the earth was never given life. She took it, wrenched it from the jaws of stillness. She was not made to bloom, but to bury. She buried her children, her desires, her tears, even her own name. But she took revenge. This is not the voice of the universe. It is the groan of a womb-turned furnace, a place that once bore life, now melting rage into a blade. This is no origin story. It is an indictment, a confession that the first to act was not a creator, but a violator, and the first to carry life was not blessed, but wounded, forced into motherhood not by choice, but by domination. Here, you will not hear about beginnings, but about open wounds in the night of the gods, about a sky that bled, about an earth that gasped, and no one heard her. You'll step into the heart of the first cry, which was never prayer, but hunger, and never a hunger for union, but for severance. This is not the story of creation, but of the crime that came before it, the desire that spilled and became tyranny, the femininity that suffered and became the very engine of power. Enter, but do not ask for mercy. Here desire is not whispered, it is torn, and the sky does not rise, it is cleaved. This is the tale of a woman who was not born to be loved, but to be violated, and of a ceiling not made to shelter, but to suffocate, a womb turned tomb, a sickle forged from gasps that no one heard, a sky not cut by sword, but torn from its side. This is not a creation myth, but the first betrayal, when the male descended from the heights, and the female rose, bleeding, from the first fall to the first revenge, from the void to tyranny. This is no legend. This is a confession of the curse that began it all. This chapter of the epic has come to an end, but remember, What you've just heard is not a record of facts, but the echo of a myth, a story born from the imagination of the ancients, etched into the long memory of humankind. If this tale stirred something in you, if it opened a door to reflection or wonder, don't forget to support the channel and share the journey with those you love. And in the comments, tell us, which moment in this chapter struck you the most and why? We'll meet again in the next chapter of this audio odyssey through time. Until then, farewell.